Hi everyone, I think we can start now. Thank you for joining us today. Today we are here to talk about a challenge that many enterprises are facing as their cloud environments evolve. With cloud environments becoming more complex, organizations have access to more data than ever before. Yet one question remains difficult to answer. What deserves attention first? In today's session, we'll explore that challenge and how CloudImpact helps organizations make sense of cloud signals so teams can make faster, more informed decisions. I'm pleased to introduce our speakers for today. Keval Hatu Singh, CEO of Cygnet.one. He leads the organization with a focus on helping businesses generate measurable value from technology investments, especially across cloud and AI. He brings a leadership perspective on how enterprises can modernize with practical outcomes in mind. We also have Mr. Bhavesh Mistry with us. He's the head of delivery at Cygnet.one. He brings deep experience in enterprise project delivery, agile execution, and cloud-led technology programs. With close to a decade at the organization, he has led delivery teams across complex implementation environments, and he brings a practical view of how cloud insights can be converted into accountable action. We also have a live Q&A at the end of the session, so please feel free to submit your questions during the session. With that, I'll hand it over to Pedro. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. First of all, thanks for taking our time to join our webinar. We're going to talk a little bit about CloudImpact today, show you how it works, and then we'd be happy to take your questions at the end. The reason why we built CloudImpact is that we saw both within Cygnet and for some of our enterprise customers, boardroom leaders are kept in the dark about their cloud posture. Today, I don't think too many leaders can immediately answer the questions such as, what is your cloud spend this much? How much of that is waste spend that could be eliminated? How is your security configuration on your cloud? Is everything secure? Are you operationally set up the right way? This information exists right now, but it's in a number of different tools, both provided by cloud providers such as AWS and third-party tools. But there's no single dashboard that gives executives all this information. And that's what we set out to solve with CloudImpact. Right. So as the introduction video must have given you a bit of a hint about what we do, and we've got all those screens and demos coming up. There's 4 key parts that we solve that I really want to highlight today, which are the most important. The first and foremost is the executive scorecard, right? So instead of having 3 different financial reports, one for spend, one for waste spend, one for budget forecast, we give you a single financial health score. Now executives don't need to go and check different tools each month. They can just look at one score each month to see, is my financial score getting better? Is my security score getting better? Is my operational score getting better? Then regardless of how your cloud environment changes, if you introduce new cloud services onto the environment, if your team scales up or scales down resources, all of that is captured into a single score for each component, which gives you an idea and then lets you dive deeper. On each of the scores, we have created persona-based views. So we've targeted it to the board level and so on. So we have a CEO view, a CFO view, CIO view, and CTO view. So for example, the CFO view talks about the cloud spend. The CIO view talks about security, and the CTO view talks about operational aspects, all of which combine into the CEO, which brings in relevant information from all these areas for the CEO level. When we look at the scores, each of them is built on a number of different elements, and whichever one of those elements have the highest impacts, we've turned them into prioritized recommendations. When we go to the demo, we'll show you some of these, but just to give a highlight of two of them. On the security side, one of our highest priority recommendation is how to fix critical vulnerabilities in terms of like open internet access and so on. And similarly, on the cloud side, we have things like unused services, which is a pretty big recommendation, which could be shut down to save on cost. And finally, when we'll go into the tool, we'll also show you all of this is backed by deep evidence and connection down to the AWS level. So we don't just show you what the risk is, what its impact is, and how to fix it. We also show you exactly which AWS services are causing these changes in the score coming in, so you can take the appropriate remediation actions. Now I'll hand it over to Bhagesh to walk you through the platform and the demo eventually.
Thanks, Keval. So hello, everyone. So the tool that we all are talking about, CloudImpact today, we have built different dashboards, or I would put it this way, that one page of reports which resonate with different personas. As of now, we have CEO, CTO, CIO, and CFO reports. They all have their respective scorecards. They all have KPIs, graphs, which are most meaningful and relevant to them. On the CEO dashboard, we are talking about overall spend, health of the cloud account, and what improvements can be made possible. For CTO, it's all about how well architected the current cloud setup is, what is the current compliance score, what is the reliability and scalability score. For the CIO, it's all about data and information security, along with the highlights of vulnerabilities in the current cloud setup. And for CEO, it's all about budget, spend, trend, as well as potentials of saving. We have developed our own scoring engine, which takes into consideration multiple aspects to give you a score out of 100, which works as a benchmark for you and gives you a clear indication on where you stand right now. And you can also define what goal you want to achieve in the short term and in the long term future. So the score considered has a weightage of about 30% from availability and performance setup. 25% weightage is given to your security posture, then about 25% to cost efficiency, and the rest 20% to your compliance coverage. So if you are doing really well on availability and performance while you lack certain things on security and compliance side, your score will reflect those things accordingly. And we will clearly show you a breakdown of where the gap is and how exactly you can fix it. So the current scoring engine that we have developed consists of multiple rules for the different services which are available in AWS. So we have about close to 50 rules for EC2 and related services. So that's not just about your EC2 server. It also covers how the backup is configured, whether there are orphan snapshots available there or not, how your EC2s are able to connect with the outer world via the VPC setup that you have done. Similarly, we have rules for S3, and all of those contribute to your final score, which is calculated for individual person. We also have different categories. So CIO scores are broken down into different categories such as security, identity, data protection, observability, and governance. So it also gives them a clear idea that if my score is really good on security but not good on the governance side, then here are the areas that I need to work on, and these are the things that I need to fix. Now, everyone is concerned about what happens to their data, how we access it, and how that information is being used to derive this score. So let us make one thing very clear here to everyone. When we at CloudImpact calculate your score, we are only considering your current cloud setup and the infrastructure rules that you have defined for your AWS cloud. We don't go and read what data lies inside your EC2 server or what data is there on your S3 buckets, or as a matter of fact, what data is there in your RDS. The only thing we look at is how your S3 bucket is configured, who is able to access the data, who is not able to access the data, and whether there are any vulnerabilities which could create a problem for you or not. So in this world, it goes without saying that all the communication with the system is end-to-end encrypted. the data is secure in transit as well as at rest. We have zero access to your data until and unless you have explicitly given us consent to go and debug the issue. Customer has the data ownership and they have full control over the information and data that we store on our side, on our platform. And we have used all the trusted security standards to give our customers the confidence that the data and information will be secured on our platform. And now I think I'm really excited to take you all to see the CloudImpact in action. And here we are. So this is the CloudImpact tool, and we have different persona-led dashboards here. So as we are looking at the CIO right now, this is a governance and compliance center where we are showing what is the overall security score, what is your SOC 2 readiness based on your current cloud setup, how many critical vulnerabilities are there, and what is your access compliance score. We have further broken down the service-wise rules, that how many violations are there in EC2, S3, VPC, or Bedrock services. What is your current security posture across different categories? And this is an interesting feature. This shows you what is your maturity graph or what has been your historical scores over the past. So as you can see here, the score was close to 68, which increased to 73 when you fixed 4 rules and we noticed 4 additional violations. And as of today, your score stands at 76. Now, you can also see that if you want to improve your score up to 91, and here are the 6 rules which you can fix, and that will help you increase your score. So what exactly are these rules and how they contribute to your scoring? So for each of the persona, we have defined a set of rules which evaluate your current cloud setup against the best practices recommended by AWS, plus the best practices that we have learned over many years of consultation and project deliverables for our clients. So let's look at the very first rule where we are seeing a violation for this particular cloud account. So this rule states that your internet gateway has an exposure risk. So what exactly is the issue? What impact it has on your cloud account? And what is the remediation for that? We clearly highlight those points so that your team can go and take exact actions against the resources which are affected. So for each of the violation that is there, we highlight in which particular region, for which particular resource the issue is there, how they are affected, and what is the remediation to get it fixed. Similarly, you can go through the other categories as well. These are the 4 rules which are affected under security and exposure control category, while there are more rules which are cleared or your cloud account is doing well on those. You can also check out what are the issues with your identity and access governance. So this way, we are giving you a clear idea of where the violations are, what impact it can create for your cloud account, and how exactly you can solve them. As soon as you fix those issues on your cloud account, we will do the data sync on our side, where again, we are only reading your security protocols, how you have defined and deployed those resources. We don't read your application data. And after running our scoring engine, we give you the updated score, where we are updating our score at bare minimum once a day. For our higher plans, we are allowing updates up to every 3 hours. Now, what we are looking at is a financial intelligence center. So here we are highlighting how well you are adhering to your budget. What is your current monthly spend? What is the trend? What is the potential saving opportunity? And what is the current resource wastage? Here is a breakdown of how much you are spending on each of the service. Here is again a maturity graph showing you how your score has been to the financial center and what are the scope of improvements. Here you can clearly see that this rule is violated, where we have observed that there are ideal EC2 instances. It has an impact that it directly contributes to a higher cost in your monthly billing. And what is the remediation? Identify these resources, which we have already done it for you, and go ahead and stop and terminate them. So the CloudImpact tool gives you not only just an overview that this much saving is possible, but it also gives you a clear idea of what is possible and how. You can remove the ideal resources, you can implement the lifecycle policies, you can get rid of the underutilized resources or scale them down to save the cost. And the one that we have here is a technical operations center. Here we are giving you a score on your architecture, your reliability and automation. Reliability is all about how well you have architected your current application to have a reliable backup available in case if one of the availability or one of the region goes down. Here is your automation score, whether you have implemented CI/CD to automatically deploy your applications or whether you have automated backups in place or not. And again, the same maturity graph that how your score has gone up or down over last few days. And here as well, you can see which rules are violated and how you can fix them. So this is for the different personas, CTO, CFO, CIO. But then security and cost are the two most important areas which concern everyone. And for those, we have a dedicated section where you can go and look at all the security and risks all the security issues and risks that we have identified in your current cloud posture. So these are the total number of findings. There are about 65 resources where we have found that they are exposed to the public internet. We have seen 78 risks with your current IAM and access policy. And there are 31 resources where there's an encryption gap, which means if anyone gets access to those resources, they can directly read the raw data. We have listed down all the security findings for you, where we have highlighted the resources and the regions, how they are affected, and what is their criticality, high, medium, and low. We have divided your risks by different categories. We have listed down the resources which are publicly exposed. We have also highlighted the identity and access governance risks currently associated with your account and the resources where we have seen the encryption gap. So this gives you a complete overview of your security and risk posture across your entire cloud resources. And then one more dedicated section for cost intelligence. So you can see your monthly spend, what is the saving potential, how many resources are ideal. You can see the breakdown by services. You can see your breakdown by different accounts that you have integrated. And you can also see savings potential across all of the different resources, whether it's an ideal resource or an underutilized resource, or if you have not added resource to your savings plan, or if there is a right sizing opportunity. We are capturing all of that data and highlighting that for you. You also get your budget alerts. So if you are overspending, underspending, then you can directly see it here. And if you have commitment to your AWS account in terms of having reserved instances or a savings plan spending, then you can actually come and check that how much of savings plan utilization you are currently doing and what all resources you can move under your savings plan to utilize the rest of the budget, which goes unutilized. And then now coming to the settings section. So integration of your AWS account with our tool is really simple. You can either integrate multiple accounts in one go by using the bulk import feature, or if you want to integrate just one account, that's also simple. The bulk upload feature is really simple. You have to download the CloudFormation script from our tool. You have to log into your AWS management console, run this CloudFormation script. You will get a JSON output, which you have to come back and upload on this section here. And that's it. You are done. On the next step, we will show you if the API integration was successful. And if it was, within a couple of hours, you will start seeing all your dashboards with the data synced into our tool. At any point of time, if you decide that I no longer want to monitor this cloud account, you can also remove that, and we will get rid of all the logs and all the data that we have stored off that account on our site. On top of that, we are also offering you a view for individual account. So you can switch between the accounts and you can see how well each of the account is doing. And you can also compare them scores individually if needed. So You can also, in future, we are going to expand this service to allow you to export these reports and share with your technical teams so that they can work on the findings done. And as soon as the findings are fixed, you can come and see your scores updated the very next day. Just a small candy feature. If you like the light tone better, you can also switch the theme and have it your way. Okay, now going back to the presentation. So we have live customers using this system. And particularly here, we would like to highlight a case study of one of our customers where we helped them save up to $100,000 in monthly billing just by highlighting the ideal resources and the gaps that they had in their savings plan. So the challenge was their instances were running at a low utilization continuously. They had ideal capacity, which they had reserved for cases where they will see higher traffic, but instead of implementing auto scaling, they had simply kept those resources ideal just for a situation where there will be higher traffic. And in some cases, they had over provisioned the resources. So where there was a need of 4 CPU, 16 GB of RAM instance, they had deployed 8 CPU and 64 gigs of RAM instant. So the tool clearly highlighted where the saving potential was there. And after working on all those fixes, their applications were more scalable. They were more resilient to failure. And despite of implementing all these challenges, their application score went up, but their monthly cost went down. Keval, do you want to add anything on this before we move on?
No, go ahead, please. Perfect. So a little bit about ourselves. I think we've already shown you a great demo of CloudImpact by Bhagesh. A little bit about Cygnet.one. So we're a 26-year-old company. We have 500 plus enterprise clients across 35 countries. We have a team of over 1,000 technology professionals. And all of the learnings that we've had from working with these customers over the years, that's what we've brought into CloudImpact so that we can have a much greater spread than just our customers who are working on our engagements ourselves. We can open it up to the additional market as well and make sure everyone can get benefit from the learnings. We have all the relevant certifications, whether it's SOC 2, whether it's ISO, and we have strong partnerships with AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, and SAP. Let's go ahead. Perfect. So I think just to conclude off before we go to the Q&A, if you want to see it live, like Bhagesh showed, the integration is really straightforward. Scan the QR code here to book a demo and we can show you how to do it. But honestly, just go to cloudimpact.ai. You can choose to log in and sign up yourself. And maybe within like 20-30 minutes, you will have your own cloud dashboard ready. Try it out. We'd love to see your feedback. We're also doing a free 3-month trial right now. So if you integrate a production account with a certain minimum AWS spend, you also have a chance to win a free gift from us as well.
Kevin and Bhavesh, that brings us to our Q&A session. We do have a couple of questions in the chat. Thank you everyone for submitting those. The first question goes, how does CloudImpact collect and process data from AWS environments? Does it require agents or does it work through AWS native integrations?
So I'll take that up. So what we are actually doing is we are creating a read-only role with your help. So the CloudFormation script that we are allowing you to download actually goes to your IAM center. It creates a read-only user which has access to certain APIs, which allows us to capture the data about resources you have deployed on your AWS account, what security configurations you have done for them, who has access to those resources. And once we collect that data, then we feed that data to our scoring engine, and that helps us derive the score that we are coming up with. So yes, we are creating a read-only IAM role in your AWS account to get access of this data. And you have all the freedom at any point of time to delete that role to stop giving us access to your data. And as I said, if you disconnect your account, we also get rid of all of your data from our database and logs.
Thank you for answering that, Bhavesh. The next question is an elaborate one. If AI is used to generate recommendations, there is always a possibility of errors. Is there a validation step where a human reviews these recommendations before they are shared with the client? Additionally, how do we ensure and communicate the reliability of these recommendations to the client?
I'll start this off and Vagesh can add on. So first of all, we're not using Gen AI to create the recommendations here. All the scoring, all the fixes that you see on the screen, they're all based on deterministic rules, all of which have been drafted, vetted, and then approved by our internal cloud experts. And we regularly look for customer feedback on these as well. So you can ensure that whatever recommendations you see, they're all based on deterministic rules. There has been multiple layers of human checks on them. So there's a lot of confidence to communicate to these clients. Most of the team who's worked on this, they're all AWS certified as well. So there's some assurance there that they know what they're talking about. And of course, we're always open to feedback, right? So we work very closely with the partners who've been working on these with their clients and with our clients ourselves. If you see any rules which are either debatable or you think it could have a different impact, we're always open to changing it in the roadmap, right? But there is generally pretty high level of assurance that you can be sure of the recommendations.
Yeah, I agree with Keval. We have trained the model enough with real life examples and multiple scenarios to make sure that the recommendations generated are 98 to 99% accurate. And one of the feature that we are gonna add in the CloudImpact in the future releases is to allow clients to customize their own rule engine. So for example, we have set some certain benchmarks for a particular rule, right? And client wants to fine tune it as per their requirement, then we will allow them to uh, customize the rule engine as per their needs, so they can flag the rules which are irrelevant to them, get rid of them from the scoring engine, and they can generate a score which is relevant to them. But yes, at the same time, I can assure most of you that the scoring engine that we have developed is good in 90% of the cases for all the different kind of uses that you have for your AWS cloud.
Thank you for answering that. The next question we have is a quick one. Is the data real time?
No, the data is not real time. So if you are seeing a recommendation on our cloud impact tools, you go to your AWS account, you fix that thing, then you will have to allow some time for us to sync that change back onto our side and calculate a new score. So in the current plan, we are doing it at least once a day. So if whatever changes you are making today, you'll be able to see the impact of that on your score tomorrow. If you go for a enterprise plan or a higher version of the plan, we can do it as early as every 3 hours.
All right, thank you for answering that. The next question that we have is, can it monitor Kubernetes or container workloads?
Yes, the answer is yes. That is something which we have already completed and is in the release pipeline as we speak. So I can confidently say that 10 days from now, we will have more coverage of ECS as well as EKS rules. So we would expand our coverage towards monitoring the containers and Kubernetes services, as well as expanding more on the serverless services side as well. So just to give our audience an overview of what is in the pipeline and what features are we planning to add in the CloudImpact in the days to come. So currently it is AWS only as suggested by Keval in the chat, but we have plans to expand it to Azure and GCP later, so that our clients can have one single tool where they can get multi-cloud overview. They can see what their spend is on each of the cloud. They can see what the risk vulnerabilities are there across all of their cloud platforms. They don't have to jump between different management panels and tools to see recommendations for GCP versus Azure versus AWS. So yes, that's in the pipeline. And we are also expanding our coverage of more and more services within AWS, including, as I said, the EKS, ECS, so containers and Kubernetes next, followed by the serverless, and a lot more.
Okay. Thank you. The next question is, how does the 3 month free trial for CloudImpact work, and what attendees can expect to see during the trial phase?
Yeah, so 3 month free trial is pretty much 3 months of access to our tool at no cost. As a part of that, we can facilitate your team to do the integration. As I said earlier, it takes 15 to 20 minutes at most. And then you have the CloudImpact dashboards running. We want you to use them for 3 months to see not just your current score, but also how the score changes over time as well, which I think is the critical aspect as your cloud environments evolve. The most important recommendation that I would have here is make sure to integrate some of your actual live production accounts. Whenever we've done these reviews with customers, whenever we set up their dashboards, they're really surprised by what they're able to see and what the tool is able to uncover. And I think the free 3 month free trial gives you a chance to experience that with no cost commitment, and allows us a chance to get some feedback from you as well.
We have another quick question, which is, how does it determine the business impact?
So the business
Okay.
impact, yeah, go ahead, Bhagesh.
So determination of the business impact may vary, but here is how I will put it. We are evaluating how well your cloud account is set up. And again, as I said earlier, we are taking into consideration the best practices recommended by AWS. Plus, we have also blended in our experience of, working with multiple clients over the years. So based on that, we are able to judge your current cloud setup on multiple factors such as reliability, scalability, spend, and things like that. And that actually helps us to create a business impact score for our customers to help them understand that the way your current cloud is set up right now, it has a risk of scalability. It has a risk of automation. So if one of the availability zone, one of the region goes down, you will be at a mercy of the AWS to bring that back up, and then your application would be up and running. Okay. At the same time, the way your application is performing right now, does it need all the resources that you have deployed for it, or are they underutilized or overutilized? So that also gives them a vision to align with their future goals of, 3 months, 6 months, or 1 year, that whether our current cloud environment is ready to meet those goals or not. Keval, would you like to add?
No, I think you covered it pretty well.
Great. So the next question, and possibly this will be the last question that we take. And I think this question is the most relatable amongst the audience, which is that we already have multiple dashboards. Is this just another dashboard?
That's a great question. So it's not just another dashboard. It is focused on what an executive like myself would like to see, and it consolidates information from all the different scattered areas into one central space, right? So it's not just another tool for seeing some part of your budget forecasting or another security scan. It's pretty much all the things that matter to an executive brought in onto one platform over here, that has both a scoring to show you the current position, diagnostics to show you what the impact is, and then remediation as well, right? So it's all the three into one. It's not just another dashboard that gives you visibility about how you are in terms of your CPU usage or security scans or financial analysis. It's beyond that.
All right. That brings us to the end of the session. Thank you, everyone, for submitting the questions and making this session more interactive. Again, thank you, everyone, for joining us today and taking out the time. We hope you found today's session more valuable and gained useful insights into simplifying cloud visibility and making more informed decisions. If you'd like to explore how CloudImpact can help in your own environment, we'd be happy to show you. You can schedule a personalized demo with our team or take advantage of our complimentary 3 month trial to evaluate CloudImpact using your own cloud data. We also have exclusive gift hampers for first 5 attendees availing the free trial. You can simply scan the QR on the screen, or you can reach out us at hello@cloudimpact.ai to get started. Thank you once again for your time and hope to continue the conversation. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.